Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting into what it takes to make a genuine impact in community development. We're focusing on the community program assistant role, what makes someone truly excel. And our guide for this is Kaplan's, well, they're really comprehensive breakdown of top interview questions for this job. So our mission today is to unpack these questions, look at the best answers, and basically give you a shortcut to understanding the skills, the experience, maybe the passion needed for this kind of vital work.
Yeah, it's such a critical role. People sometimes underestimate the community program assistant. They're really, the ones making things happen on the ground, supporting, planning, organizing, actually executing programs. And that involves so much talking directly with community members, managing resources, working with all sorts of stakeholders. It's all about making sure these programs run smoothly and, importantly, effectively.
Exactly. So this should be helpful, whether you're thinking, hey, I want that job, or if you're the one hiring, trying to find that perfect fit for your team. These insights hopefully will make that whole interview process smoother. And ultimately, it's about helping these community projects grow and really enrich the areas they serve. All right, let's dive in. Kaplan's Guide identifies six pretty insightful questions. They're designed to really reveal a candidate's core competencies.
That's right. And they work both ways. For employers, they help spot the people who can genuinely make a positive difference. And for you, as a candidate, understanding these questions helps you know what they're really looking for so you can prepare much better.
Okay, first up, this one seems basic, but I think there's a lot under the surface. What experience do you have working with communities or community organizations?
Yeah, it's definitely more than just like listing jobs on a resume. What interviewers are looking for here is concrete experience. Things like planning events, maybe organizing logistics, or assisting with outreach, communication efforts, working directly on projects that aim to, improve things for people in the community.
Right, so that kind of foundational experience is crucial. It builds credibility, shows you
Mhm.
understand how communities actually work, the dynamics involved.
Exactly. It shows you've been there, done that, not just read about it.
Okay, but what if your experience isn't, say, a formal paid role? Does volunteer work count just as much here?
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes even more so. Volunteer work, grassroots stuff, even things you've organized informally in your own neighborhood. The key isn't the job title. It's detailing the impact you had. How did you handle the specific challenges or dynamics of that community? It's the how and the what you learned that really matters, not just the what you did.
Got it. That makes sense. Now, communities aren't always harmonious places. Conflicts happen. Which brings us to the second question, a really practical one. How do you handle difficult situations or conflicts that arise within a community?
This is a big one. The approach Kaplan suggests, and it's a good one, starts with listening. Really listening, like actively trying to understand all sides of the issue before jumping in, make sure people feel genuinely heard. Then the next step is working towards a solution, something that feels fair, ideally beneficial for everyone involved. Collaboration is key there. And finally, communication. You have to clearly explain the outcome, the path forward, so everyone's on the same page, even if they don't love the decision.
That really covers a lot, doesn't it? It shows problem solving, empathy, communication under pressure, all critical skills. You mentioned clear communication during conflict. Can you give an example of maybe where that goes wrong sometimes, a common pitfall?
Sure. A common mistake is getting defensive or offering a solution too fast. People feel dismissed. Imagine, say, residents are upset about a change to a local park's hours. The misstep is saying, well, we had to change it because. A better way is, okay, I understand you're upset about the park hours changing. Tell me more about how this affects you. You listen first, then you can talk about reasons and maybe explore alternatives together. It shifts the whole dynamic.
Right, from confrontation to collaboration.
Okay.
Shifting gears, slightly managing the workload. Question 3 tackles organizational skills. How do you prioritize and manage your tasks and responsibilities?
This is about showing you have a system, but also that you're flexible. The suggested method involves, the basics, creating a schedule, a to-do list, standard stuff. But the crucial part is regularly reviewing and adjusting that plan. Things change fast in community work, and constant communication with your team, with community members is vital. It keeps you looped in on changes or new priorities so you can adapt.
That adaptability piece seems huge. You need efficiency, yes, but things are so dynamic. For someone maybe newer to this kind of role, what's a practical tip to avoid just feeling completely overwhelmed when unexpected things pop up?
That's a great question. One thing is building in buffer time. Don't schedule every minute. And maybe think about flexible rigidity. Have your core plan, your non-negotiables for the day, but know that other things will come up. Prioritize those key tasks first, leave some room, and don't hesitate to communicate if a new urgent thing means something else has to wait. Proactive communication helps manage expectations.
Good advice. Okay, question 4. This is a chance for candidates to really showcase what they've achieved. Can you provide an example of a successful community program or initiative you have been involved in?
Yeah, this is where you tell your story. Kaplan gives a good example, a neighborhood cleanup. But the key isn't just saying, I participated. It's explaining your role. Like maybe you helped organize it, you promoted it, you did the outreach, recruited volunteers, and because of that effort, you got a large group together and made a real visible difference. You show initiative and results.
That example makes it very tangible, but measuring success in community work. Sometimes it's tricky, isn't it? Beyond just, say, bags of trash collected. How do you show that deeper, maybe less visible impact?
That is the challenge. Visible outcomes like cleanliness are easier. But true success might also mean stronger community connections afterwards. Maybe people who never spoke before are now collaborating. Or maybe it sparked other initiatives. Measuring that often requires, qualitative data, talking to people, surveys about how they feel about the neighborhood now, capturing anecdotes. It's a broader definition of impact.
Definitely requires looking beyond the surface.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5 gets right to the heart of it, people. How do you build and maintain relationships with community members and organizations?
This really boils down to trust and consistency. It starts with active listening, again, truly understanding needs and concerns, not just hearing words. Being responsive is huge. Getting back to people, even if it's just to say, I'm looking into it. Following through on commitments, no matter how small, that builds credibility. And just maintaining open, regular communication, keeping people in the loop, being approachable.
Absolutely. Those relationships are the bedrock. Without trust, programs often don't get off the ground or they fail. What are some of the maybe hidden challenges in building that trust, especially if you're working with diverse groups or communities with maybe some history of distrust?
That's a really important point. Hidden challenges can include different cultural norms around communication. You need to be sensitive to that.
Right.
Or, yeah, overcoming past negative experiences the community might have had with organizations. Sometimes there's skepticism about outsiders. It takes patience, humility, really, a willingness to learn from the community, not just dictate to them. Often, trust is built slowly through small, consistent actions, just showing up, listening, being reliable, long before you even launch a big program.
Takes time and genuine effort. Okay, final question, number 6. This one's about integrity. How do you handle sensitive or confidential information within a community setting?
Crucial. The answer here needs to be unambiguous. Professionalism and discretion are non-negotiable. You have to show you understand and will strictly follow all confidentiality policies and guidelines, no exceptions. And that means ensuring information is secure, stored properly, and only shared with people who absolutely need to know for the work to happen. Protecting people's privacy is paramount.
Yeah, it's fundamental. This isn't just about rules. It's about ethics, integrity. Trust is so easily broken here. What's maybe one practical thing someone starting in this role can do right away to show they take confidentiality seriously?
Beyond just reading the policy, actively ask about the specific data security protocols. How is sensitive info stored? How is it shared? Who has access? And critically, adopt a when in doubt, ask approach. If you're unsure if something is confidential, treat it as if it is and seek clarification before sharing. It's about being proactive, not just reacting if something goes wrong. And Kaplan's guide points out other resources too. They have things like an interview coach to help you practice articulating these answers, and even an offer analyzer for when you get to that stage. It shows there's a lot to think about in preparing. What's also interesting is they list similar questions for related roles like case aide or community advocate. It really highlights how these core skills like communication, relationship building, problem solving are transferable across many community-focused jobs.
That's a great point. So it's clear these insights are valuable across the board, whether you're the one interviewing or the one looking for the role. It's all geared towards helping these important community projects succeed and thrive. So wrapping up our deep dive into Kaplan's Guide, we've pulled out some really clear, actionable takeaways for anyone involved in this field.
We have. And thinking about the bigger picture, it's striking how much of this boils down to fostering trust and human connection, isn't it? Which leads to an interesting question for you, the listener, to maybe think about. Given how collaborative this work is, what role could technology play in the future? How might it help community program assistants build and maintain these vital relationships even more effectively?
That's definitely something to chew on, especially in our increasingly digital world. We hope you'll reflect on these insights and use them, whether in your career or your learning. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.